now is former LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. You endured 4 hours of questioning. We have a few more minutes of questioning tonight. Thanks for taking the time out and being here tonight.
Sure, my pleasure.
Okay, first let's start by getting your reaction to what you just heard in Susan's reporting there for those two who allegedly had family members who they say died or were hurt because of deputy gang violence.
Those people had lawsuits. They lost their lawsuits. Then every death is a tragedy, either a murder or at the hands of law enforcement, a deputy-involved shooting. There's no way around that. However, when they present false information, they lose their cases in court. In fact, almost every witness that the Oversight Commission put forward has a lawsuit against the department or lost a lawsuit, and that is almost the totality of all of their witnesses. So you're looking at a very warped view of the world, and the entire thing was an exercise in electioneering, if I can put it that way.
Well, let me ask you, because you didn't have to testify. You have not. And now that you are a private citizen, let's keep in mind you're still running for public office. Why now? Well,
the only reason that they were going to, because they lost their case at the appellate court about the subpoena issue. Everything they said about subpoenas, oh, he's defying them, he's resisting. No, we were following the proper protocol, and if we had a question, we went to court to clarify the question. Oversight was using their subpoena power as a way to engage in electioneering, influence the 22 elections. I put myself on the ballot in 24, and here we are again with, oh, we're going to subpoena you again now. But why didn't they subpoena Luna? Why didn't they subpoena McDonald? He has something to say. He was sheriff for 4 years when all these issues were there. Why just me?
Well, you said that today, and their response was, the attorney's response was that today was you were the focus, and that they would potentially be calling Luna and the former sheriff prior to you, McDonald. Did today help you, keeping in mind that you are seeking a board seat?
I think it dispelled a lot of rumors, a lot of false information that the Oversight Commission, the Board of Supervisors, was trying to put out there. And they understand, one, I've never been a member of any subgroup. I don't have tattoos. And the fact is that subgroups are not criminal gangs, as they're trying to sell the idea falsely to the public. In fact, they accuse my undersheriff of being a gang member. 43 years serving the county, yet when the undersheriff of Luna has a tattoo from a subgroup at Temple Station, well, we don't want to ask that question. Well, wait a minute. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Well, you say that deputy gangs don't exist. You say that deputy subgroups do.
Yes.
But with all due respect, in the general public, when they hear deputy subgroups, they think it's the same thing. So, and you said today that knowing that, keeping that in mind, when you decided to promote somebody, you wouldn't ask if they were part of a deputy subgroup. Why not?
Because very simple, the history of the department going back decades, people have had tattoos at stations. It does not make them a member of a criminal entity. It does not give me the authority as an employer to ask them if they have a tattoo on their body and decide whether I'm going to give them a promotion or not. In fact, that would be unconstitutional. And yet they're pushing this false narrative and expecting that somehow they want to strip down deputies and see their tattoos and decide whether or not to fire them. I mean, this is pretty outrageous. And then people wonder why no one wants to be a cop anymore.
So let's talk more about your running for the Board of Supervisors. Why do you want to be on the board that you have been at odds with throughout your sheriff's tenure and continue to be?
Great question. Real simple. Because the public cares about homelessness. They care about crime. They care about public corruption. And the Board of Supervisors represents those things. And the only way you can fix it is actually being part of change. And the incumbent I'm running against, she is literally the status quo that has failed miserably. And all you got to do is walk out your door, go to the local store, and experience what life is in Los Angeles County.
Will you be amicable if you're on the board with those you've been at odds with?
If they're doing the right thing for the right reason, I'll be more than happy to work shoulder to shoulder with them. If they're going to do corrupt acts, I will expose them, and they will know it immediately.
Do you regret testifying today?
Not at all, and I'll do it again.
Well, big news today. After your testimony, we get this announcement from LAPD Chief Michael Moore that he is going to retire at the end of February. You know, he talked about his need to be with his family, but of course you think about the weight of leading a law enforcement agency. You've done that. Do you think that that weighed into his decision? What are your thoughts on his announcement?
Well, I think he's right on the money. It's timely. There's a time to move on to a new generation of leadership, and so we just hope and pray that the City Hall leadership does the right thing, picks someone who can competently lead the LAPD, someone who has the experience and the credibility to lead the organization, and that we're not going to check off boxes like has been the habit in many organizations, and then the experiment fails.
Okay. Well, again, you had quite the day, 4 hours of testifying. You agreed to come back in March, so we will be talking to you then. Thank you for coming in tonight, former Sheriff Alex Villanueva.
All right.